Hey there, Craig Johnson, Ask the Loan Dude, Canopy Mortgage. Welcome to my second live on YouTube and on Facebook. I am excited to be here with you. And I've got another opportunity to look at a property and apply the affordability method that we are absolutely using. And I think hands-on, as I had shared earlier, being able to see things live and in color allows you to begin to, understand the opportunity of home ownership. And that's the biggest thing that I see. I've been doing this now for 29 years, and there's never been a time in my career that there has been so much noise about, it's not a good time to buy. Interest rates are really high. Don't buy now. Prices are going to fall. Foreclosures are coming. Yeah, that's not all necessary. That's not true. It's just factual data, and we can share that with you, not, just one side of it. We've got all kinds of different ways that we can prove that and make sure that you have the very best information. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is. This is an opportunity to take a look, begin to get the best information available so that you can decide whether to take a step and continue that path of discovery, because that's all we're doing. There's no commitment other than to discover the opportunity. And then based on the facts, you'll go, you know what, this is worth it or it's not. And that's fine. I just know, and I, again, shared this the other day, I have always disliked it in my long life so far that when shoulda, woulda, coulda, and we all do it. We all do it in many aspects of our life. So we're going to avoid that, and we're going to give you data. Obviously, we have no connection yet. Here I am on social media delivering this. So, hopefully it gets watched by one other person, maybe my mom. She'll watch it, but it's early on. So like I said, we're going to put a bunch of these out all the time, because I think being able to tell the story of affordability in this marketplace definitely will give you an advantage. When rates begin to get a little bit lower, and they're awfully low right now compared to where they've been, we are playing around in that 6% number. And I mean that we're bouncing 5.75, 6.25 in that range. So 6% is right there in that middle. We have been up to 7.25, 7.5%. So we're easily a full point below where we have been at this stage of the game. The one thing I would share with you as well, if you want to keep your eye on the market and have an idea of what interest rates are doing, it's really simple. Again, I think sometimes, the lending, the mortgage industry makes things way too complicated, way too much jargon. So let me break this down. If you look at the 10-year bond, so if you type in Google search, Chat GPT, any of that good stuff, if you type in US 10-year bond, you will have the direct correlation to what the mortgage rates are. So you can get a feel if the 10-year bond interest rate is going up, mortgage rates are going up. If the 10-year bond is coming down, interest rates are coming down. So, and we can all access the US 10-year bond just by a simple Google. That'll give it to you. Again, when rates were at about 7.25, up in that range, we were hovering up around, 4.75, leaning into 5%. That 10-year bond, as we speak right now, it is bouncing right there at that 4.03. So much, much lower. That's why I'm saying rates have gotten way, way better, which is really, really good. So we want to keep that in mind as we take the journey. And again, full transparency all the time. You can look at the same things that I can look at. I'll point you in those directions. Do your homework. I encourage that a ton. And at the end of the day, run your numbers. Run your numbers. See how this is an opportunity or not at this particular time. We want you to be empowered with each step of the way in the home buying and even refinancing process. Because for those that may have already purchased, say in the last 2 or 3 years, there is a great opportunity right now to refinance with rates that low. So again, another reason to reach out and connect. But let's dive into the home of the day and take a look at this. This one is in Van Alstyne. It is located at 905 Ravenwood Lane in Van Alstyne. It is currently listed at $315,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just below 1,600 square feet. It's 1,590 square footage. It is an absolutely wonderful, again, first-time home buyer. When you take a look here, it's been on the market for 90 days. 90 days. That is a long time in my professional opinion. You know, the market right now is saying somewhere between that 60 to 70 day range. That seems to be the average, but just because something is average doesn't mean it's applicable to your situation. So there is definitely some time here to take a look at that. Michael Taylor is the listing agent out of Keller Williams North Country, and he's actually having an open house this Sunday, which is, let me see. So we're on the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to guess, is it the 20th? 19th. So he's having an open house on Sunday, the 19th, and it is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So you could literally go out in Van Alstyne if you're around the area up here in Grayson County. If you're down in the Dallas Metroplex area and you're thinking of moving up this way or anywhere in this local area, give it 50-mile range, and you're thinking about checking out Grayson County, this is a great home. Now, the great thing about this one, it is also qualified for a USDA loan. The house is in a USDA area. So what that means is it qualifies for a 0 down payment. So there's no down payment. And all you need is a 640 FICO score. There's a little income ceiling, but at that price point, we should be able to hit that. So that would be something that we would do through our dreams and goals call. We would do a discovery there and see what that looks like. But putting this together with 0 down definitely is going to improve the opportunity to take advantage of home ownership. So let's look at, we did a little bit different today. The other day I rolled through our LOS, our loan operating system. Here, I've already gone through our LOS, and this is numbers that are put out specifically through that, and trying to simplify this again, because we got to make it simple. We got to make it part of you grabbing onto it and going, yep, I get it and I understand it. So there's 3 ways that we begin to look at the opportunity. In this case, we're using that USDA loan. That's one way to look at it. There are numerous ways to do this, but I would do something, and this is a part of what I do out of the beginning. We call it first look. Literally your first look. Doesn't mean anything other than a first look. So don't think that, you know, when you get presented numbers, yep, this is it. No, we just have to begin the conversation. And then from there, we can strategize and look at all the different options that are available. And that's what we want to do. So here we are on a USDA loan. And the first one there is at list price, $315,000. The second is dropping the price by $10,000, because in this market, that is very common to think of, you know what, I don't want to overpay, which I understand. So we're going to drop the price by 10 to get to 305. And then the third way is we're going to hold that list price in this case. So we're going to hold the 315, but we're going to still use that $10,000 that we were going to use on the price drop, and we're going to put that into what we call flex cash. And you'll see how that works out here. But real simple, we're using an interest rate of 5.99 in all three of those scenarios. But what I want you to kind of see and be aware of, so the first payment there on the list price is $27.25, and that is just at that 315. Again, no money down on that. So let's do this, 27.25, and if I can do it right here, 27.25 minus 25.75. So we've got, that's interesting. How did we, is that right? I want to make sure. 27.25 minus 25.75. They're kind of reverse. $150 difference there. $150 difference if we were to drop that price. 27 and then 25.75. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then let's look at 27.25 minus 23.36. Man, I can't get this calculator to work. 27.25 minus 23.36 equals 389. That's the difference. So we've got $150 difference in payment from the $10,000 price drop, or almost $400 if we go and we use that hold the price with 10K. Now you can see the cash to close. That's the closing cost there. If there was a down payment, that down payment would also be in that number as well. So that's literally the closing costs inside the loan. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at the, I want to point out to you here on the buy down, you can see we're using, this is the, where the $10,000 comes into play right here. But you can see the buy down part is only $7,000. So basically we've got $3,000 left. So you literally could take another $3,000 off this 14,000, right? So we end up with it being $11,000 to close. So we've got $11,000 to close versus, call it 14.5 in that case. So I think there's something off. That's what I think. I want to go back. Hold on. Let me do this, because I think we got something off here. Like I said, we got complete transparency here. I'm not going to stop this. I'm not going to change it. We're going to go in here. Let's do that. That's USDA. So let's get rate. I think I got user error possibly. So there's the 27.25. It just doesn't seem right to me. Let's bring up all three. So this is our loan operating system, LOS. So you get to see the same things that I see. And in fact, we've got a way that you literally can drive this ship yourself, which again, I love the transparency of Canopy Mortgage. It's one of the great things about being here, because there's just no hidden agenda. So here's the 305. Let's, no, it's up here. Sales price. Change that to Z. Okay. 305. Going no money down because it's USDA. That's good. Perfect. Run that scenario. Let's see. So 27.25 And what was see, the cash to close should not be $23,000. I guarantee you that. There's something off there. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to send this off to Never Land, because that should not be the case. Because you can see here, the payment is $26.38 versus $27.25, which I believe is $87. So let's come here, and now we're going to add that 2-1 buy down, because this is still going to be, now the purchase price is still $315, but we come in here and we're going to add that 2-1 buy down. So just with a click, we're going to add that. Come out there, we're good there. Let's run that scenario. And then let's go back and do some simple math here once we get up and running. Yeah, see, the cash from the borrower is $13,975. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and see what I did, but I sure did something there. I will blame some of that 8 years Catholic school. I love the nuns. Nuns are great, but they didn't teach math very well. I'm just joking. Just joking. Probably going to get 27 comments just based on that. So 27.25 minus 26.38. Yeah, $87. So if you were to just drop the price by 10 grand, it's going to only save you $87 a month. If we drop it, if we hold the price and we use that flex cash, that third one, we can literally lower that monthly payment in that very first year, $389. So it's really good here. I want to show you this. This is on the last one. Let me open this up here because we can do that right. If I go back to here, so we've established that using holding price and using that $10,000, we can actually save more money doing that. So let's bring that up here in a bigger screen. So we'll come up here, still got the USDA running, still doing that. There's the 2-1 buy down. And then we come in here, we're going to run it up, take a look, and let these numbers build the story. So again, remember, we've got $10,000 of a seller concession that we're using. And the seller side right now only has $7,000. So we've got $10,000 or $3,000 if you, a little less than that. So if we come in here, we're going to drop to 10. We're going to minus 70.54. So we're going to drop in another 29.46. So we come down here. Let's do this. $29.46. There we go. Rerun it. I think maybe because I had a different number in there, it might be a little higher, because I did catch when I ran a scenario the other day when I was running a stream. It looks like I had 4,900 and this is only 2,900. So let's see what this comes up with here. Taking a minute. But yeah, you know, the most important thing is you come into this is making sure that you've got all the answers to the questions. Yeah, that's what I thought. So here's the bottom line. We can get into this home for just about $15,000. The monthly payment, that very first year, there's the breakdown, right? We've got the principal and interest at $1,905. We've got mortgage insurance, property taxes, homeowners, and there's that 2% subsidy, which is the first 2%, and then it becomes 1%. So the very first year, monthly payment, $23.36. If we come down here, we can show you what third year, month 13 through 24. So that's $25.24. And then finally in the third year, it would move to $27.25. But our thinking is that there's going to be a moment here that we're going to get a chance to lock you in for a longer period of time at the lower rate. So we may not catch 5.99. We'll see how that works out. But this is a good thing, can get you into home ownership and make it possible. And that's the key here. We want it to be possible so that you can become a homeowner. So I've got some contact information here. Please reach out. There's a link in the description. Feel free, click on that link and you can book a Dreams and Goals call. We'll spend 15 minutes or so just really trying to understand what it is that you want to do, the direction you want to go in. Because at the end of the day, this is your journey. I am a guest and a part of it, but we're going to make sure that we not only meet, but we exceed your goals. So check that out. Check the link out. Love to answer questions, and I sincerely appreciate your time. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.